Howdy folks, Texas Grebner here with Texas Grebner Outdoors. New videos every Saturday. So if you don't want to miss out on your Texas Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness, make sure to click subscribe. Check my channel every Saturday for new videos. I love reading your comments and I really do appreciate all of you that watch. Well, I need to catch you up on Illinois archery season 2016. I am not a morning person, not at all. Tossing, turning, staring at the blackness of my ceiling, daydreaming and trying to fall asleep, picturing hunting scenarios in my head. You see, that black night just before the frozen winter's dawn, that is where all a hunter's dreams are possible. And then the sun comes up and the snow comes down, melting on my cameras, freezing almost solid, my fletching frosting from my breath, the wind perfect for my triangular ambush. I was set up on the ground on the opposite oak saddle on another deadfall in my camp chair. Everything was so absolutely perfect. Cardinals and other winter birds rustling in the frozen leaves, squirrels chattering and rustling in the frost-covered branches, sending my nerves on edge, rabbits playing around in the deadfall behind me, watching, waiting, listening, enduring the savage, desolate beauty of the elements, because nature does not care. Everything was so perfect. You never truly know what will happen on a hunt. And so, my quest goes on. My hunting story goes on. The sun rose higher and higher, and the temperature stayed much the same as I battled the elements to keep my camera gear functioning. And there is a strange, vain hope on the morning hunt. Because truly, when you sit in the frozen darkness, anything is possible when that sun starts to come up. Hoping that deer would leave their beds and cross the funnel between the ravines. 3 distinct things are going to happen if a deer goes down to my arrow. First, I'm going to cry, and then I'm going to thank God, and then I'm going to eat its heart. But the mundane vagaries and responsibilities of modern life call me away from this primal, beautiful, desolate solitude. And still, the quest goes on, chasing the ghost of a dream. There is much prestige and great pleasure in hunting a wild and free animal in fair chase, where it has no constraints on its movements and it goes about its daily life with its inborn instincts to avoid predation. There is also much frustration because a wild and free, majestic creature has no obligation to make itself apparent to you. You have to learn where they want to be, when they are going to be there, and be there to intercept them. Watching, waiting, listening, and such is the visceral mystery that is the hunt. Without trail cameras, my season had become a bit more complicated. But luckily, the snowfall had proven useful in at least tracking fresh animal movement. Fur-bearing animals were many in this timber, and yet there was a fresh deer track that came in front of and circled around my area in the time that I had not been here. Enduring the cold, as always at this time of year, watching, waiting, listening, feeling my fingers burn within the muff, hoping and praying that the deer would come from the bedding area opposite to my stand and take its trail that it had gone in on. But wild and free creatures taken in fair chase have no obligation to you, the hunter. And so it had gone about its daily life completely irregardless of my prayers and desires. And such is the nature of fair chase hunting, the visceral mystery. Where have all the deer gone? Fair chase hunting on free-range animals is naturally unpredictable, and such is the appeal of hunting. Santiago fished for 84 days without catching a fish, and so I was back in the woods in my hilltop ambush, watching, waiting, listening. Every day of hunting is exactly the same, but every day of hunting is just a little bit different. The same primal emotions and sensations of our ancestors, but different sights, different sounds, different smells. Watching across the ravine, I saw the cattle moving in their pasture. And then my heart was filled with excitement and my body flushed with adrenaline as I saw movement. A buck was walking the bottom of the ravine in front of me, directly in front of me, walking across the frozen small stream. I used my can call to try to get his attention, but it was to no avail. You cannot control wild and free, majestic creatures no matter how hard you would try. And so he simply walked up the opposite side of the ridge, jumped the fence in with the cattle, and began licking away on their salt block. Now you see, salt and bait are illegal in Illinois. And honestly, I don't know if I would bother to use them if they were, because I am a slave to my own moral compass and my hunting ethics. But yet, I watched him until the last of light as he stood perfectly safe in the wide open. The sun comes up on an empty woods, washing away the phantasmagoria and washing away a hunter's dreams, because anything is truly possible in the darkness. You never truly know what will happen on a hunt until you've been there. Fighting the omnipresent feeling that this season was yet another failure, I remained watching, waiting, and listening. Ironically enough, we had had a couple of warm days. Warm days in the sense of above 32 degrees, so relatively speaking, 33 is warm. And so the snow had melted. The woods were an absolute muddy mess when I had hiked into them. Hoping, praying, squirrels rattling the tree limbs above my head, set up in my deadfall with fresh deer tracks in the mud. The wind was so absolutely perfect. Everything was so absolutely perfect. As always, the perfect ambush. Watching, waiting, listening, hoping that the law of averages would bring a deer that I am willing to take within my range. The day moved on and the wind stayed steady, but I was forced to realize that the best part of the season had already passed. Sometimes the simplest things in the world can be extremely difficult to achieve. The perfect ambush with the perfect wind means absolutely nothing if no animal shows up. You have to be there You have to be there well in advance of the animal. The wind has to hold, and most importantly, the animal has to take your trail. Then you must execute a perfect shot, and an ethical shot. Hunting and religion are inexplicably linked. And just like with religion and in life, you don't always get what you want. And so, I keep the faith.
Hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect their rights. Please check out my friends over at SOETacticalgear.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. Thanks for watching Texas Grebner Outdoors.